The resource drive event is still in full swing, and as you can see here, CIG has actually fixed and brought back the combat missions for gathering SCU points in this event. Now, in this video, I want to look exactly at how many points you get for the large and for the small versions of these missions to see if the small ones are even worth considering at that point. So that's something we're going to be doing. Also, I'm reading down in the chat that apparently a lot of the elevators are once again broken. But my friends, however, tell me the situation is kind of okay for them. They just realize or memorize which stations work and only accept missions for the working stations and avoid the ones that they know don't work. You can also use the global chat to figure out which stations you need to avoid. Maybe as an extra idea, if you do want to do it in hauling style, this is how you can maybe do it better. Now, you just saw the points displayed that I had for Hurston before I started the large vessel under attack mission, in which we are right now. Let's figure out how many points the large one gives us. Then we're going to do another large to see if these points stay exactly the same or if it varies. And then we're going to do a small one to see how much the small one gives. And that will tell us whether or not we should only go for large missions or also consider doing the smaller ones in between. When it comes to the ship loadout, by the way, you'll be fighting a lot of relatively small, fast ships, such as Gladius, Arrows, then other things that are really quickly, like the Reliant, or and so on. So there's some fast things, also a little bit of smaller, like the Vanguard here, and also I saw a Terrapin, I saw a Prowler. So there's a bunch of faster and smaller targets, but the majority are smaller targets, in which case I would suggest you guys to go with Panther, Badger, Rhinos, Galderines in order to have fast weapons that hit very reliably. Yes, they do on paper less damage, but since you do actually hit with most of your shots, it kind of compensates also back a little with the high hit accuracy on those fast shots. And I'm using the Constellation Andromeda for this case, so I have a huge amount of rockets that I don't need, or missiles, I'm just basically focusing on the Galderines. And also, a little tip, right? Generally, I'm a big fan of flying decoupled and using my maneuverability to get my aim on the enemy faster. However, these missions are in asteroid belts and clouds, and there's a lot of debris around. And it happened to me before that while I was flying decoupled and focusing on my next target, that I flew into one of those debris and lost an engine, which was very annoying. So what I would suggest you guys to actually do, if you have a ship like the Corsair, the Andromeda, ships that are simply large enough not to really take any damage from these ships, just sit right next to the ship that you need to protect and do the turret mode. Yeah, just sit there coupled, standing still, and turning around like a stationary turret and just shooting away the enemies flying around you. The positive side effect of that is that you're so close to the defending ship that you need to defend that you're throwing your hit point pool into the mix, and a lot of enemy ships will be attacking you, and some of them will be attacking the other ship. So you're kind of spreading the fire evenly between the two of you. And another bonus is that the defense system or the weapons on the defender ship you have to defend also helps you take down the ships flying around. I've had a Caterpillar and a C2, and of course all of those will fire in various different directions with their turrets. So again, it's useful to stay right next to them and just sit there coupled. Now, how many points did we get? SCU for the first one, it was 45 SCU points. For, in this case, Hurston Dynamic, which I still haven't maxed yet. That is still on my list. So we're jumping in yet another large one just to find out if the next one is, gives us the exact same amount of points. Who knows? Maybe it varies depending on how much damage the enemy has taken. But you see, I'm once again right next to the Caterpillar that I have to defend. I'm focusing the small ships first. Sometimes the Terrapins and other things that are there, I typically do them last, because they will take a significantly much increased amount of time to do, and in the meantime all these other small fighters are going to be having some fun with you and that other ship you have to defend. So try to get rid of the opponent or drop the amount of enemies as fast as you can before you attempt to get the more tougher and more annoying targets out of the way. So, you saw a lot of smaller ships, boom, large vessel under attack cleared. I skipped a little bit here, and once again, 45 points exactly. By the way, if you like to stay tuned here and you like the short news summaries and so on, then please consider staying subscribed to the channel and be ready for the next video as well. Here's a very interesting one. Now we're doing a small one. I've sent 2 salvos of rockets, missiles every time. And now a third one, of which I know is going to kill the target. But it's drifting out of control because of a lack of engine, so the missiles will take a little longer to hit that, but I know they're going to deal with him, so I'm going to focus on the other target. Boom, enemy down. You heard it? That means my missiles have just killed the other target that was spinning out of control due to engine loss. Then it took like almost a minute or so before the next enemies are spawning in, and when that happens, they'll be sitting duck for a little bit, for let's say 20 seconds, that you can just hammer them away without really any problem and them flying around. This will happen in just a minute when I show you the most smooth mission that I've done with this Andromeda here. That comes in about 20 seconds. We're going to start this. This is the last target I have to kill. And again, one hit and this... Is it a hawk or a gladius? I don't have either of them, and so I'm not quite sure. But it's spinning out of control. I think it's a hawk. And yeah, it's harder. It's actually harder to hit for me now because I hit this with the missiles and dropped the engines. And it spirals out of control, and it's actually much harder to hit. So, we've done a small one. Remember, the large one gives 45 SCU points, and the small one only gave us 22 SCU. So, not even half as much. And it takes not really that much less time to do. So, I would suggest you guys to just keep doing the large ones if you can. And rather wait for another large one and open the contracts menu all the time, again, until it comes up before you do a small one. That's my advice to you. But if you're bored, of course, you may as well just do a small one in between, and maybe even eyeball if there's a large one and just accept it while you're in combat, maybe. So, we're going to, for the Cutlass Steel here, or Black, not sure. In this case, I've dropped the harder targets first. And like I said, this is the smoothest video or the smoothest mission that I was able to do. We have a bunch of smaller targets here. That is the Buccaneer here in first, going down very quickly because it doesn't really have much HP. Then it looks like we have a Scorpius here that does not unfold its wings for some reason. Boom, gone. Okay, there we go. And last but not least, we have another Talon coming in from over there. Whoop. Okay, got it. Now, I was really fast this time, so I'm ready before the spawn of the next enemies happens. So I can position myself, and it's about 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1, and boom. There we go. And like I said, it takes a little while before these ships actually become active. And if you're doing it smart, and you're just gonna get rid of the fast ships first, like this little Talon right there. Then what is that? Gladius maybe? No, it's a Glaive. Okay, we're gonna get rid of everything that's small and annoying, okay? Because the bigger ships, we can hit them no problem. The small ones are the ones that take a little longer. And we have here a Gladius. So let's try and get that one down since I have it right in front of me. But you see what maneuvers these things are flying. These Gladiuses are always flying the craziest maneuvers. But, well, it took a lot of damage here, but it didn't quite get destroyed. What's the other guy there? Who are you? Scorpius. Okay, no, let's finish the Gladius first. Okay. Oh, it's jumping around. That still is a thing, right? These jumping enemies with their teleport, like small teleportations, or just not really smoothly transitioning in movement, but rather like being super skippy and jumpy. Okay, so there comes the Scorpius. And see again here, like a perfectly aimed shots, and then snap, it moves out of my crosshair. But I think this might be the last target here. So yeah, ladies and gents, that is the current state of the Resource Drive event. Also, the other missions are back, Foxwell as well as the Gillies Flight School, so you can make some money and earn scripts with that. Yeah, so thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Manni signing off. Bye-bye.